Hey y'all, welcome back to Moments with Miss Amy. I am so glad you joined me. So as you can see, I'm in a different place right now, and that is because I am actually resting. I am. I'm having fun with friends. I'm out in California, and today we're actually going to go to Disney. And I'm shooting my video before I go because I wanted to jump on with you guys, and I wanted to make sure not only to share with you guys, but just as a reminder to myself of the importance of rest and taking time with friends. So I'm super excited about getting out and going walking. We've already been walking. It's been great. The weather over here has been incredible. I've had the opportunity to get out early in the mornings and just go for a walk with my friend and his dog. And it's been great because I'm getting to experience like different sights, smells, whatever, but just being restful, like getting my mind to stop for a few and be able to enjoy what's happening around me and enjoy something different from my normal everyday life at home. There's no humidity out here, y'all. Like, it's really different and I'm enjoying it. But this weekend was really great, and it was restful in some ways because it was healthy and healing and going in and just like overcoming some of my obstacles, things like that. I had an opportunity to be up in Denver, Colorado, and also be with friends, but there was also just a lot of like just absorbing so much. So then my friend had talked me into actually coming this direction. It hadn't been on my plans because I need to get this done and this and this and this. And he was the one who said, "Hey, come on out, see me and my wife, hang out here, do a couple days in California." And it was like, that's actually a great idea to get myself to stop from all my busy and rest. Get some time with friends, be able to recharge. And I'm going to tell you what, I am feeling so good, which is, I deal with chronic pain. I have a number of different things. And yet, like in this moment, I just feel so good. And it's because of stepping out of all the craziness that I've had going on, all the things that I want to do. And I mean, so much of it's so good. Like, I am ready when I get home. I'm going to blow the doors off that gate, man. I'm like, boom, let's go and get running after my goals and dreams. But in the meantime, for a little bit here, I've taken some time aside to rest. Last night we went out for an amazing dinner. And not only was it like super good and the staff was incredible and it was so much, fresh handmade and I mean, just like really good. But we also had the opportunity to sit and savor it and enjoy it. And it was so good. Such a great time. We walked away from there just, just living in that carb high. It was so good, so good. But so the scripture that I wanted to share with you guys, let me jump into that because it's talking about rest. So Mark 6:31. Then, because so many people were coming and going that they did not even have a chance to eat, he said to them, "Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest." So, and the he that they're talking about there is Jesus. And so, there was so much happening, so much going on. And he's like, yo, let's take some time off out of the way. Let's go rest. Let's recharge ourselves because it's so important to do that. I think sometimes whether you're in school and you're dealing with, all the different tests and college prep and all of that, or whether you're working or whether you're at home trying to juggle everything at home, whatever, we get so caught up in but we got to get it done. We got to get it done. We got to do the next thing, got to do the next thing. And we run ourselves to a point of exhaustion. And when that happens, we're not getting as much done as if we would have scheduled in a time to step away and rest, recharge. And when we do that, when we step away, when we recharge, everything changes. Like our outlook on life, our attitude, our physical health, our emotional health, all of that can change just by stepping off and stepping away and having a little bit of time to just breathe. And it's incredible how much it can change our body. Now, my friends that I'm here with, the wife, she's actually been doing yoga in the mornings. And I'm just like, that's such a great idea. So my mind is kind of thinking like how well she goes into her day because she took that time to do the yoga and to spend time, with her mind, body, soul. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, when I go home, how can I incorporate some of what I'm doing here? Like I said, the walking, which has been incredible. Oh, the smells of the flowers, just the coolness in the air. It's been incredible. So how can I incorporate, some of that, like getting out and doing the walking? It'd have to be early before the humidity really hits, okay? But incorporate that, maybe like a little bit of self-care as in the yoga or something, and bring that in, like, what things can I do going forward to maintain some of this feeling of rest and energy? I mean, I feel so charged. I mean, obviously I know that it's making a difference because, I'm going to Disney today. Come on, there's going to be energy going with that one. But even before that, even not thinking about that, my energy level is different. I don't feel the tension and the stress across my shoulders that I was carrying. And that burden was only a burden that I put on myself. I mean, it's not something that anyone else had done. I just continued to, no, let me, I can carry that. There's a story that I heard a number of years back that I think is incredible to kind of give like a visual to what it is we do to ourselves. And it was about a grandfather that had his young grandson, and they were walking, and the young grandson had a backpack on him, a knapsack. And so as they were walking along, unbeknownst to the young man, the grandfather was taking and picking up rocks and putting them into the back of the backpack. And the little boy didn't notice at first, the young man didn't notice it at all at first. And then after a while, like, you could see him kind of moving the backpack a little bit, like, I don't remember it being that heavy, And as time went along, the grandfather put more in and more in, and the backpack was getting heavier and heavier and heavier. And the boy's like, what's going on? And then he saw Grandpa putting in a stone, and he goes, why are you doing that? And he says, oh, and then he kind of thought to himself, well, maybe Grandpa's collecting them, And so they kept walking, and finally got to a point that the boy's like, Grandpa, these stones, this bag's too heavy. And so they stopped and sat the bag down. And the grandfather told him, he says, look, I wanted to give you this lesson while you're young in life so that you won't deal with it and carry the heavy backpack that I carried for so long. He says, so here is the lesson. These stones and rocks, look. And he picked one out of there, and he says, this is guilt. This one's frustration. This one's anger. This one's worry. And he just, like, as he started bringing out all of these different stones and different rocks, and then he would repeat, like there was more worry than just one worry. And the boy would be, no, you already said worry. And the grandfather's like, yes, but throughout your life, you will find that you worry about different things, which is different stones. And so the grandfather says, see, when you take all the cares of life, when you take all of the worry and the stress and the busyness and all of that, and you just continue to throw it into your backpack, on your back, it begins to wear you down. You begin to get more and more exhausted. You begin to feel more and more like you can't move ahead like you could before. And in fact, at times you may even feel like just stopping, like you don't want to move ahead because it's too much on you. It's too heavy on you. And so I want you, when you start feeling like that, I want you to stop and think. I want you to remember this moment on our hike. I want you to remember this story about the rocks and how we put them in there and how they were all these cares, and how if you can learn to stop, maybe rest from some of the busyness, stop, maybe let go of some of the worry, maybe stop and let go of some of the stress, pull these things out of your backpack as you go throughout life, then you're going to not be so weighed down. And I thought that was an incredible story, and it's one that I like to bring back to myself when I find myself dragging, this backpack because I can no longer put it on my back, and I see it and I realize it, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why am I pushing myself so hard? Why am I putting myself at risk? Because it's not healthy if we're worrying and stressing and exhausted and tired and just so anxious all the time. That's not healthy for us. And so when I stop and I think about that, and I'm just like, wow, like What am I doing carrying that backpack like that? And pull out these things. And for me, what I do is I give them over to my Lord. Okay, that's my thing that I choose to do is I take it and I'm just like, okay, you know what, God, I'm not going to worry about this because worrying doesn't change it. Or I say, okay, God, you're right. I need to rest. I need to take some time. And sometimes, guys, it's a friend. It's a friend who points out to you, hey, you need to come and rest. You need to recharge. You need California and Disneyland, Sometimes it's someone else who points out to you. And instead of pushing back, instead of thinking, they don't even know my life. They don't even know what all I got going on. Stop for a moment and check your backpack. See if they're right. See if maybe right now would be the perfect time to reset, recharge, get ready for what else you want to do, and maybe look at what your plans are, what you got going on, and maybe decide, let's pick the ones that are an actual priority. Let's figure out what things I can do, what things can I delegate, what things are important for me to do, and that line up with what I want for my future. And so take that moment, check your backpack, stop and think, what can you do now? Maybe you can't travel, so let me throw in with this, because maybe you can't travel to California like I did. But I'm going to tell y'all, it worked out really good because, when we checked it, my flights, it was like a $20 difference to fly from Denver out here to go back home versus just going back and forth to Denver. I don't know, airlines was crazy at the moment, or I was just super blessed. Thank you, Lord. Whatever it was, but, California for $20? Yeah, that's totally doable, right? But maybe that's not something you can do right now. Maybe you don't have the time that you can take a few days and do it. Even setting aside a block of time in your calendar that you really intentionally take that time to just recharge and rest, whatever that looks like for you. Whether it's going out and sitting out in the sun and not dealing with all the interruptions on your phone, not dealing with emails and text messages and what needs to get done. You figure out, you take that few moments, you're worth it and you can do it. Figure out that time to recharge because I'm telling you, you're going to come back feeling so much better, so much stronger, and everyone else is going to start seeing a change in you because you'll be walking lighter because your backpack's lighter. So hit like, don't forget to leave a comment, and if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe, hit that little bell so you know when the next video drops. And I want to thank you again for joining me for Moments with Miss Amy.